Moving toward the light. Copyright by Cupiderosbooks, May 3rd, 2012. Short description. Pyshuin, a 23-year-old college student, flips hamburgers and studies to become a woman scientist, but every night a visitor arrives from another world and shows her mysterious things about the nature of life in the universe. Eye-catching blurb. One night, Pyshuin's mind desired logical explanations. She stood by gazing into the little blue basket, spinning a large ball of light. What happens when I wake up and go to school and work? Nothing happens, said the large blue light. Does a little blue cage spin? Yes. At the same revolutions? Yes. But how? It doesn't make sense. The large blue light remains silent. In this place, things are what we make it. You put energy into spinning the cage, and so it knows what to do. Moving toward the light. 3,706 words. Pyshuin did not exactly sign up for the job. She needed the job. Like most people, it paid the bills, sort of. Every night started the same way. She went to sleep in her comfortable two-mattress bed. She pulled the pink top sheet, painted in scenes from faraway galaxies and universes and planets over her. Her mom had acquired the sheets at an artistic trade show. Pyshuin thought about life, her world, all the people, the living animals, and life, and drifted off to sleep. She slept approximately for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Then the blue light appeared. At first, Pyshuin told herself, this is a dream. Dreaming is okay. Good things come from dreams. Her classes in brain theory at the local university taught her this. Our brains provide the hardware, our minds the software. Her dream escort took her by the hand and disappeared suddenly. Then reappeared in a very dark, quiet place. Nothing existed in this place, and she almost felt terribly lonely, except the blue light's presence comforted her. Pyshuin then listened as the blue light talked. Only he did not talk. Pyshuin gave him a blue personality. He appeared blue not like water, but fluorescent neon blue. The blue light said, you must sit here in the dark for a second. Her second lasted for a while. Pyshuin had no way of telling because her watch and all other mechanical devices disappeared when she appeared in the quiet, dark space. One time she put her cell phone inside her bra, but he came for her and they disappeared into the darkness, the nothingness. The large blue light said again, like the night before, you must sit here in the dark for a second. Only as before, the night lasted longer than a second did. After sitting for a long time, like hours to her anyway, Pyshuin remembered her experiment. She reached inside her bra for her cell phone. It's gone too. Of course, when she returned from helping the large blue light, her cell phone reappeared inside her bra, where she put it before going to sleep. Like her watch, reappeared on her left wrist. Like several other objects Pyshuin tried to take with her into the nothing darkness. Only herself and her clothing appeared. She changed clothes every night just to make sure her dream kept connected to real time. One night she wore a pink nightie. She sat in the darkness in her pink nightie. Another night she wore a black pajama set, shorts and short sleeve top. In the nothingness she wore the same thing. Apparently the large blue light did not care if she brought her clothes. Pyshuin's inspiration for sitting in the darkness came from the large blue light. He didn't show fear. He wasn't afraid. He moved in the absence of light quite freely, calmly, and purposefully. Each night he returned, and her body showed no sign of change. She remembered to wake up, and she looked at her hands and her legs and her feet. She rushed and got up and stood in front of the mirror. Everything was like before, like the night before. Her body's appearance no different from when she turned 20. She had not grown younger or older, either taller or shorter, neither fatter nor thinner. Neither did she hunger, nor did thirst bother her in the darkness. She was poor. She worked at the local fast food restaurant. What she did, no one noticed. No one cared. Sure, eating must be one of the most important things in the world, but why did it pay so low? To Pyshuin, getting a degree meant a lot. It meant recognition and doing something important to help the world. Perhaps as a woman scientist, she might help many children someday. She might help create something to benefit all parents, flipping the burgers and snatching down order after order, hurriedly assembling the sandwich ingredients served a purpose. Pyshuin's motions, uplifted by the frenzy in the hungry faces of her customers, made her feel significant when she quickly glanced at them while taking their order. They were numbers to her. 35 wanted 2 hamburgers with everything on it, Coke, fries. Number 12 needed 2 kid-sized fish sandwiches, 1 large fish sandwich with extra lettuce. At the end of the day, her studies, her biology, astronomy, chemistry, English, and other subjects, all these things, and this helped her to relax her mind as working relaxed her body. Sitting for the blue light, well, Pyshuin decided, that animated something deep inside her. She didn't have much time for meditation or spiritual retreats and trekking to the Himalayan mountaintops, so maybe that's why the blue light came to get her. Pyshuin slipped into her comfortable bed, ready and energized. Her day mustered several surprises. A man singled her out for a tip on his hamburger, $10. Then a professor who hated her said, "This is the most promising paper on the sun's expansion properties and the sun's flares I've read in 30 years. Finally, she provoked a boy to stare at her small boobs so hard he walked into a tree that was lining their street near the university. I, Pyshuin, ravaged the ramparts today, she rewarded herself. Self-congratulations. The last time such feelings and events and pomps and circumstances transported her upward, like when her breasts came in fully at 14. That was some time ago. The world could be conquered, she remembered saying, standing naked before the mirror. Then she recalled feeling like a sprawling sonnet, building power and clarity until the final explosion of those final 3 lines. The sublime symphony matched her experience in the audible realm. Her tedious toll of existence lifted up again. She no longer played the reluctant role. Pyshuin pulled the coverings up to her rounded chin, on her rounded face, and her long black hair spread out on the pillow. Something positive will happen tonight with the blue light. Pyshuin slept wearing a smile on her face. She dreamed happy thoughts, although she could not remember a single one. But then the large blue light came. He took her by the hand, and she reappeared in the darkness of nothingness. Her happiness transported with her into this different place, as she began to call it. Tonight you will begin, he said slowly. He glowed and bobbed in the air. The blue light expanded as he talked, not by much, but enough to be noticed by Pyshuin. I knew something positive would happen tonight, she said excitedly. The blue light did not respond. His intentions were mysterious to Pyshuin. However, she didn't think he was dangerous at all. The blue light pointed what could be at hand. If you kept all the fingers closed together at the spot pointed to, the round cage thing appeared. This shocked Pyshuin at first. First, the round cage seemed like golden light, and then it changed to blue. Pyshuin tried to fathom something relating to it in her everyday life. A basket, a bassinet, a holder of fruit and vegetables. The light blue cage measured no bigger than a candy dish or a casserole bowl at an elegant university party. or a salad bowl, or a drum barrel, or a punch bowl, or a Pandora's box, except it was circular. It reminded her of Pandora because one legend said Pandora received a chalice or vase. In any case, she had all night to think about the exact size of the little blue cage. Spin the bowl like this, the blue light instructed. He pointed, and the little blue light cage began to spin, but not as fast as a CD or a DVD. Each revolution moved slowly, almost like a ballerina coming out of a double spin, no longer on her tiptoes. Just spin the basket. Then he disappeared. Pyshuin pondered her situation. Sit and spin a salad bowl, this rounded silver platter. Then she figured it out. If you turn a large bell upside down, the circumference matched it perfectly. Except Pyshuin turned her head this way and that, looking at the cage as it kept spinning. The bell with the metal cut away, she hardly thought such a bell would ring, but the opening of the little cage perfectly matched it. The feelings provoked in her thoughts the previous day remained. Something different. I'm not living a boring life anymore. She sat there in the darkness, not on anything she could see. She swiped her hand under her butt and behind her legs long ago and did so again. Nothing is there. Pyshuin accepted this place, this darkness, as another one of her activities. Everyone did things in life. Sure, she didn't know anyone who sat in the darkness spinning a little made of light blue cage on a chair that didn't exist, but those were the facts. After several nights spinning the light blue cage at the precise speed suggested, the large blue light came and got Pyshuin, who tonight wore her short pink pajama pants and black short-sleeved top. As he took her hand, he announced, "You showed discipline and patience, faith and trust." They appeared in the nothingness, and the little light blue cage sat there waiting for her, spinning. Pyshuin sat down and pulled her long black hair behind her shoulders. Her hair fell down the length of her back. "You are pleased?" "Yes," the large blue light pointed inside the little blue cage. "Spin the cage as before. However, you adjust the weight inside to match your previous speed." Pyshuin was baffled. From her chair, the cage looked as empty as before. In fact, she didn't see any light come out of the little blue cage. When the large blue light left, Pyshuin stood up and looked inside it. She gasped, "Light!" Inside the little blue cage spinning, Pyshuin viewed a marble of light. Pyshuin sat down amazed. Practically hidden inside the cage from her seating position, Pyshuin saw darkness. She felt nothing. She tried to figure out what it was. She thought of the obvious things, a baby, a light blue light, but why was it so heavy? The large blue light came to get her, and his presence demonstrated nothing but lightness, and the lightness beyond anything on earth. Still, she remained happy. Her heart told her this was a type of holiday. She wanted to scream and shout. She didn't know why. That had never occurred to her before. Pyshuin never felt that happy. Before her commitment lied in just sitting in the darkness, sitting in the dark, spinning the light blue cage. Pyshuin thought about puppies, baby rabbits, eagle chicklets, foals, cub tigers for some reason. This didn't make any sense to her. She had a baby hamster once long ago. On a strange occasion, some friend of her best friend's tried to bestow a baby turkey upon her. Pyshuin could only think about someone trying to buy her a turkey to eat him, so she declined the gift. She liked cats. This marble of light didn't move or seem like a cat at all. It didn't speak or make a sound. It had no thoughts, or she didn't sense any. Once she held a baby and could sense his thoughts and needs so strongly, she hurriedly handed the baby back to its teenage mother. The mom instantly stated, "You'd make a great mom." Fate intervened, however, and Pyshuin moved away to attend college the next year. She wanted to complete something important before becoming a mom. She had been reading the I Ching lately, returning again and again to the lines, returning to the place of the beginning is good. Night after night, slowly, almost without Pyshuin recognizing it, the basket grew lighter and lighter, but also the light grew bigger and bigger. In no time, if there was time here, Pyshuin still had not figured that out, the light reached a point where she saw it while sitting down. Her arms did not tire as much now. She simply pressed 3 fingers and the little blue cage practically turned on its own. Each night when she came back, the little blue cage turned at the same constant speed. One night, Pyshuin's mind desired logical explanations. She stood by gazing into the little blue basket spinning the large ball of light. What happens when I wake up and go to school and work? Nothing happens, said the large blue light. Does the little blue cage spin? Yes. At the same revolution? Yes. But how? It doesn't make any sense. The large blue light remained silent for a second. In this place, things are what we make it. You put energy into spinning the cage, and so it knows what to do. The cage is alive? Sort of, he paused. It's hard to explain. You sit down, and there is no chair. You spin, and it spins when you're gone. Pyshuin's thoughts turned to something terrible. What if I decided not to spin the little blue cage? Would the light go out? Why is the light important? Who is the large blue light? Why do you come to get me, large blue light? Because you wanted to do something important. I do, and so you're here. How can I communicate with you? Through our speaking. You have no mouth or features like lips or ears. In a manner of speaking, that's correct. Pyshuin thought hard before she voiced her thoughts, even to herself. I wanted to do something grand and positive. You are. The large blue light answered her questions, and then he left. She sat down and started spinning the little blue cage. Now, it only took the barest touch of her index finger. The light inside the bowl bell pulsated from her vantage point. The faintest color of blue began to overtake the white light ball. At the end of the 3rd night, the light blue ball of light sat in the little blue light cage, practically stuffed inside it. On the 4th night, the large blue light said it's time. I hope so. Whatever it is, it doesn't seem comfortable in that small little blue light cage, Pyshuin said as she sat down and waited for things to go where they might. The large blue light picked up the smaller blue light with one palm. His palm suctioned to the top of it, and it easily came out of the cage. Then the large blue light waved his hand, and the smaller blue bowl bell cage disappeared, and the larger cage of light appeared, only this one was twice the size. Don't let the size of things here fool you, Pyshuin. Pyshuin's logical mind demanded more answers. What now? Keep spinning? No. The larger blue light placed the smaller blue light in a new light cage. You hold him. At first she protested, but the large blue light took her hand every night to transport her here, so logically she could hold the smaller ball of blue light. He placed the small blue light in her arms. Oh, Pyshuin adjusted her grip using both hands. He's trying to move about. Don't allow too much movement, the large blue light paused. He's not ready for that yet. He's almost like a baby, but he doesn't weigh anything. Your attention is all he needs. Pyshuin smiled. I'll be back to get you like before, the large blue light said, and then he left. Pyshuin looked at herself in the mirror every morning since she began holding the little blue light. She noticed her skin glowed whiter. She seemed prettier. Her confidence grew. She managed to give a great speech, and her writing developed an almost dramatic flair for reaching her audience emotionally as well as mentally. During all of her experiences, she learned she obviously didn't need as much sleep as scientists suggested. She wanted to tell someone of her experiences at night in her dreams. Caution and common sense easily won out, though, and she kept silent. There seemed now to Pyshuin different philosophies about nature and reality. Worlds existed and didn't exist. The nothing worlds were the most real. Her dream world definitely brought about positive events in her waking world. As she held the light blue child each night, she continued to try to understand things. He obviously felt fine during her waking hours in school and work. He accepted her return each night. They got along well when together, peacefully and cooperatively. She understood more and more of exactly what pleased him, whether to hold him over her left shoulder or her right, if she should place her hand on what could be termed his upper or lower back. Then one night something very strange happened. The little blue light jumped in her arms, and a little rock came out and hit her right under the left collarbone. If she had to stare at it in normal terms, the little blue light burped a rock onto her shoulder. What does this mean? Pyshuin held the little blue light back from her a bit, and everything seemed as before, except glimmers of teeny thoughts appeared to her consciousness. These glimmers faded quickly, but returned just as often. I'll have to report this to the large blue light, Pyshuin said softly to the little blue light. The large blue light came back at the same time he always returned. How did the night go? I, I don't know. She handed the little blue light blob back to the large blue light, who palmed it in his back and placed it into the large blue cage. She pointed down her feet. That rock came out of him, she said fearfully. Is it? He stared at the little rock. So soon? That's good then. In this place it is, said the large blue light. I'm not even going to ask about the other circumstances, Pyshuin laughed and smiled. I'm ready to go back home, well to sleep, well to wake up in bed. You've been here, Pyshuin, although it's hard to explain this place, and I wanted to thank you for your help. Now what? Do you want to wait and see? Sure, why not? Okay. The large blue light waved his hand, and the larger blue light cage disappeared, and he held the light blue light to his heart, and then he held him at his arm's length. Then he opened his hands and, what are you doing? I'm letting him go, Pyshuin. The little blue light bobbed up and down and seemed to expand and contract. Pyshuin didn't hear or sense anything, only what she saw. However, the two lights engaged in talk of some sort. Then the little blue light began to spin around slowly. Then his speed increased and went faster and faster. Pyshuin guessed his present speed the same as a CD or a DVD. She almost picked up a thought of joy from the little blue light. His speed grew so fast that he seemed more like a blur in imagination, a vapor than anything else. Then he moved away into a deeper darkness and grew smaller and smaller as the large blue light and she watched. Then he disappeared into a swallowing blackness. All was silent for a while. And then a sudden explosion came from that distant darkness. Gases spewed past Pyshuin in a large blue light, then heat and fire and rocks and collisions, and explosions rocketed the darkness, and a great shaking occurred all over. The teeny dots of smaller lights began to appear all behind, around the sides and in front of Pyshuin. She gasped in amazement at the speed of things, coming and birthing, living and expanding out from all around her. A huge world appeared in front of her, hurling itself directly at Pyshuin. She jumped back before it reached her. It stopped at least a gymnasium's distance away and held its place momentarily before spinning into a circular path from them to the other side of the lighted darkness. She didn't understand how, but she knew she witnessed the birth of new worlds, places, galaxies, comets, universes. The large blue light said, that is your work. Mine? You wanted to do something important, he pointed. There you are, something to help children and their parents, something awesome and grand. What do I do for an encore? Pyshuin joked and laughed, understanding the large blue light knew her thoughts and feelings. A large pink light emerged from the darkness. In a month's time, I'll come and get you, and we'll go to another place in the darkness, and you can raise my little pink ball of light. The large pink ball of light and the large blue ball of light moved closer to each other. How about it, Pyshuin? They both said. Pyshuin pushed her long black hair behind her shoulders. Sure, now that I understand how important raising in they both said in existence. How important in existence is, why not? I'd be like before, sitting and waiting, spinning and holding, said the large pink light in her feminine thought voice. Who are you two? Don't you know? If I had to put it in a word or two, I'd say you both are love. We can accept that term, Pyshuin. See you in 1 month. Thank you, Pyshuin, said the large blue light. Love, said Pyshuin. The end.